So when we start HyDraw CAD for the first time, we are in the start page, and from the drop-down menu, you will see a lot of templates. And starting with a good template is a good suggestion. And so basically, when you start a drawing, I recommend you start with HyDraw Imperial if you want Imperial units, or HyDraw Metric if you want a metric unit. You can also change the path for your templates. And basically, to do that, you should go to HyDraw Options. So click on the top left edge, Options. Under the Files, Template Settings, there are two important settings here. One is the template file location. And in my case, I changed from the default one. I put my template inside my library folders. And also the other setting is the default template name for QNew. That means if you set up a file here, and to set up a file, you just browse and select which file you want to use as a standard template. I work with metric, so I set my metric. That means that every time you create a new drawing, it will go to that template without any selection. So I work normally in the metric world. So if I click new, it will open my metric template. But if I want, and this is what I will do today, I will work with an Imperial template. So from the start page, I click HyDraw Imperial. The second setting that we do today is we go in the options, HyDraw Options, and we go to Drawing Template. So our template, the HyDraw Imperial or HyDraw Metric, is conditioning a lot of setting in the drawing, like the item ID, scheme, the units, and other options that we will see in other webinars regarding HyDraw CAD. Today we go just in the drawing template, and we select in the same folder where I have my template, title block size for each paper size, A, B, C, D, E. So what you can do later with your HyDraw CAD is just select this corresponding title block size. If you will use what I will share with you later in the coming days, then you will do the same. So you will link B size with a B size and so on. In order to use this template, we need to go to the System tab and use the following commands. Let me highlight them. Let me change color. Red. So insert title block command is supposed to place a title block in your drawing, and edit title block command is to edit the attributes. As you see down here, I have some paper space. If you are not familiar with the AutoCAD environment, basically any AutoCAD is divided into model space and paper space. In the template I'm using, I already preset standard paper size in order to make plot very easy, and we will see at the end of today's exercise, but we always draw in the model space. So with the insert title block command, we are placing a title block, let's say at A size, and we place it in our drawing. With edit title block command, we can type in all the information, and for instance, that's my circuit. The title is webinar HyDraw quick start, and created by myself, Carlo Molon. Okay, when you type in information, those will go in the corresponding fields in the title block. If you don't like the size, you just click again insert title block and select a different size, B size. The same approach will work for a metric. Simply in that case, instead of A, B, C, and D size, you will find A4, A3, A2, A1, and A0. Now let's start making a diagram. I normally start my HyDraw CAD without Library Explorer and Property Manager loaded. To load Library Explorer and Property Manager, you need to click on the symbol command, on the menu, circuit menu, top left command, you click symbol, and this will load on the left our library. And with edit, this will open the Property Manager. If you want these two side panels to be always loaded at startup, These settings is controlled in the options under miscellaneous, and you just enable Library Explorer and Property Manager at startup. Now let's start placing our symbols. The library is divided into several folders where we find all the symbols. If you want, you can just navigate through each folder and find the symbols inside here. My recommended approach when you look for a symbol is to do a search by component type. So I want a pump. Percent is a placeholder. So percent fixed means I will just find only the symbols belonging to a category of fixed displacement pump. To insert a symbol, you double click and place the symbol in the drawing. At the same time, I want to search for a coupling set. I want to search for an electric motor. And for a bell housing, it's called adapter. As you see, the search is dynamically made. You just start searching CHE, and this will filter dynamically the folders. Now, instead of searching for symbols, I want to directly go to the search for components. As you see, this field search is meant to find a symbol, not to find a component. If you click on the gray arrow just next to the search field, you will be able to search in your corporate database on Fluid Power Tools. Fluid Power Tools is a large repository of model data from a lot of manufacturers. So in this case, let me look for a directional control valve, Eaton Vickers, DG4V percent 6C, and search. This HyDraw CAD will find in the online database some model codes matching my search criteria. I can do some search, further filtering, and with a double click, I can place my symbol in the drawing. If you want two directional control valve, you can either insert again or right click, copy, and you start and end point. Enter to confirm the command. Automatically, item ID will increase by 1, 5.1 and 5.2. We can make a connection line from the pump to the P port. With enter, you repeat last command. So we do again and make other connection lines. We now wanted to place a check valve on this connection line. So let's search for a HYDAC valve, RV10A, search. We find the model family, double click, and we can place the symbol in the drawing. If we place the symbol on top of a connection line, that connection line will be broken into two segments and the connection will stay glued. If you need to move symbols, you can select, press M for move, select a start point and end point. All the connection will follow. If you need to stretch a connection line, you can use the HyDraw CAD stretch command. You select the vertical segment and move the segment up or down. Without auto connect mode, we can make a manual connection. So for instance, I make a tank line going from the T port down here. Enter to close the command, enter to load again this last command, and I do also another connection line. As you can see, jumpers and dots are made automatically when the two connection lines are connecting or are crossing. Let's go back to the search for symbol and let me find a cylinder, hydraulic, double acting, and I need a couple of cylinders in my system. All these items are not part of my part list, so I can select two symbols and uncheck the exclude from part list command. This warning is not relevant now, allows the user the possibility also to keep in a part list accessories linked to a component that will not be in a part list. Now we turn again to AutoConnect. Please notice AutoConnect is a status. Without AutoConnect, you make the connection manually. Click, click, click. With AutoConnect, click the connection line and you start and finish the connection. Enter to repeat the command, start and finish. Enter, start and finish. Start and finish. If you move a symbol, the connections will not break. If you want to use a stretch, you can take a segment and use other snap point to make the connection aligned. Now we go back to the search component and find a relief valve. If you are not familiar with model codes, you can search by manufacturer and component type. So we want a relief valve screen cartridge, rated at least 4 gallons per minute. And maybe we take a manufacturer Comatrol and we search. HyDraw CAD will perform a search in our system in the library and will find RV8DR, or let's take CP208-3. We double click and we place the symbol in the drawing. If we are not 100% sure of the component, we can right click and view a datasheet. And in this way, HyDraw CAD will load a datasheet attached to the component. Now we can flip the component vertically. We can connect pressure line and we can connect our tank line. Let me move the entire diagram. Select M for move, start point and end point. I also want to move again the power unit down. I want to represent a reservoir without taking a symbol in the library. So I move to the drafting menu and I create a rectangle. Then I create with the AutoCAD lines, I create a 2 feet representing my reservoir. If you want to change colors, you just select and apply a different layer. ISO Uni is the standard layer defined in the ISO 1219 for symbol boundaries. And you can create a symbol on the fly. System menu, convert to HyDraw. You select the component type, it's a reservoir. Select entities, those are my entities. Enter for confirmation and insertion point. Convert. In this way, we have made a symbol on the fly. We want now to include all these items into a manifold, circuit, envelope, and we cross connection lines with the envelope line. Wherever the envelope is crossing connection, it will create external port. That is our P port. With a double click, you have a short way to edit port names. Otherwise, you select a port and on top right, you have the port name. T. I normally do a double click, which is faster for me. B1, A2, and B2. If you want to define a port size, you select a port and you click on select from library, SA O-ring, and I need a -8 SA. Okay. You can copy size between all the ports. So now all the ports are SA. We can move the cylinders up, select M for move, and you move up and connection will not break. We can reduce text height, system, height. We can select all the ports, enter, and we can change the property text, yes, and we can change it to a different height, 0.1, and that will change the port size. Text. You can also rotate port text. Now we want to specify some information. That's a check valve, and the cracking pressure is 200 psi. We can type in and that information will be displayed in the drawing. And this valve is set at 2000 psi. Also, the setting is available here, and all the attributes can be rotated and moved where you want in the drawing. We want to build a part list. So before doing that, I want to control the item IDs, which were randomly placed from the first symbol I put in the drawing until the last one. So I want to control my numbering scheme item. I want to select only the power unit part, enter, and I want to start numbering from 100. Then I move to the second part, the manifold, select, enter, and I start numbering from 200. And I can move item IDs. And now I want to build a part list for my system. Part list command, select the entire diagram, enter for confirmation. Part list can include accessories. I don't have any. It will be part of other webinars. System accessories, hoses. Next, we have a preview of our part list. If you see empty field, you can fill in manually, like electric motor is maybe Siemens, coupling set is Parker, and the pump is Parker, and the manifold is Danfoss, and the reservoir is Vest, and the water pump adapter is Parker, with all the model codes. When you click update, this information will flow in the corresponding symbols in the drawing. Export means we are going to take the part list out to an Excel file and we can process how we want. That will be our part list. And let me put into my webinar part list. And we can insert our part list in the drawing. Part list is an AutoCAD entity. We can move it also with M, press, and we select the start and end point. If you do a change in the model data, like I select my manifold and change the model code, Vest 1234, the part list will show an icon requiring an update. To update a part list, you select, right-click, and run the update part list command. And now the model code will be available in my part list. Now I want to plot my diagram. And well, first let me just make a tank line here. I want to plot my diagram. As I was mentioning initially, I have set my paper size. This is a B size, so to quickly plot, I just go to the B size. I have a preview of my diagram. Right-click, plot. That's already pre-configured. I use the DWG to PDF plotter. And I can use the monochrome, standard monochrome, or I have defined a new style, line color SDB, which I will share with all the attendees. With the line color, we can make something like this. So we can show all the symbols black and white and the connection with colors. If you publish with PDF and share with customer, this is a nice way of presenting your diagram. We just plot and save as PDF, and we can put our PDF wherever we want. When you plot, I recommend you use the DWG to PDF or other advanced PDF printers because this will preserve all the layers also in the PDF, and the quality will be very high even if you zoom at high extent. You can also switch off layers directly in the PDF if you need. And all the text in the PDF will be, you can make search in all the text. For instance, you can find the item 203 and next. So you have the possibility to navigate also in the PDF. Of course, this is a very small diagram, but for a larger one, possibility to search in the PDF is welcome.